Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Football Talk. As always, I have Adi with me. Adi, how you doing?
Yeah, we're good. Good. You must be warm.
Excited about I was until I took my took my top off. Excited about the transfer window?
Um, I don't know about excited. I think more just getting back into the groove of football. I mean, it kind of dies down when it's a slow news week when it's the FA Cup. I think it would have been a bit more momentum building if it was the Premiership matches. It just feels like all the transfer negotiation, everything just dies
No,
down
but
because
I think it
you're
should be
playing
the
your B
opposite.
team.
I think it should be the opposite because once you got a FA Cup weekend, you got time to actually go and think because you could potentially play your B team, those, your
No,
direct.
but then what you're doing is you're playing the backups that you're still trying to sell, but pretend they're still part of the squad. So you play them and you want to make it look genuine. So you don't want to be, you don't want to be rumored to be signing a player in their position.
It's a good direction you're going in because obviously you're talking of squads. I mean, Chelsea, they're out of the FA Cup, played Man City twice in the week, out of the Carabao Cup. They're pretty much out of all the competition. Not doing too great in the Premier League either. And I think in the last 10 games, they've only won two games, one against Bournemouth and the other against Dinamo Zagreb. And they against Man City, they changed their whole squad pretty much. So is that cause for concern that they didn't really go for the competition?
Um, Not really, because at the end of the day, they've got heavy injury list. The league in the position in the league is mid-table. They're way behind the top four. They have to prioritize, and they're playing City away. So I don't think the rotation of the players he played. I don't think that was so bad. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting, to say the truth. Still, a lot of the key players that have been starting have played. So maybe I was expecting more of a rotation, to say the truth. Um, it's necessity, isn't it? That he played who he had
Mm,
available. So got so many first teamers or squad players out at the moment.
mm,
So I don't think that's really, for me. That wasn't really the issue. It's the fact that there was no fight in that first half, and like, this is Chelsea. These are two big teams. There's still quality internationals on the pitch, and City's basic reserve team is toying with you. They're toying with you. They're playing ole football, and taking the mick out
Yeah,
of
but
you. And
City's backup team isn't, it'll probably be any top four. They'll get into any top four teams anyway.
yeah,
So
definitely, I
it's
agree.
not it's
But
not like a massive drop off where you can go to like Arsenal's and the sector and there's a massive drop off between the first and second.
but yeah, I mean, but it just shows it's. But you'd still expect a bit of fight, a bit of character, a bit of belief, which Chelsea didn't show, and that's the thing that's more shocking. Isn't the lineup? Isn't you can lose to City, and you can even get embarrassed by City, but if the way they played in the first half, if that eventually happened in the second half, even then you'll criticize, but you can also
You can
forgive.
understand.
But to play like without belief from the first minute and just it's like a procession that first half.
I don't know about you, but the last Premier League game where they lost 1-0. The second half when I don't know, Chumuoka came on, Gallagher came on. I don't To me it seemed like a bit more of a positive because they were working hard, trying to get aggressive at City, and City pretty much struggled a
Yeah,
bit towards the end. But so I thought they're gonna build on that and try a bit more. But it seems to gone backwards again. And then the second half of well, it was the game was dead, so it didn't really mean much.
yeah, but still, yeah,
I,
just
I wanted to see that fight
the,
basically
the
carry
gap
on from the
was
last game.
the gap was too big. I mean, you know, Chelsea just couldn't get out of their half. City winning the ball back with ease, couldn't handle the pressure, the press. It was just too easy, and they're playing all-day football, no pressing, no pressure from Chelsea. Chelsea just, it's like they just gave up, dropped deep, gave up. It's just a real limp performance.
So do you blame? I mean, is Potter to blame for this? Because surely he should get his team up to for
Well,
this
he's to
match.
blame for the current state of the team, because at the end of the day, the players don't believe, or they've lacked that belief and that character, and it's not the end of the world. They're going through a bad patch. I don't think Potter's suddenly out of his depth. I just feel like he is struggling with managing big name players, because he's a manager who likes to do tactical tweaks. He likes his players, sacrificing themselves to stop the opposition, and then doing set moves to expose the gaps that the opposition give. He's a very strict, tactical manager, but he's got players who want to play in their favorite position, their favorite style, in their way. They know what works for them. They've been successful playing that way. So now there's a clash there, because Potter's been successful with a certain brand of managing tactics wise, and Chelsea, the players Sturridge and Aubameyang, they've been successful playing football the way they understand it. So now there's a clash, and the best example is Aubameyang. When Potter first came, Aubameyang, I think, scored in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
Looked really sharp. Looked like, okay, he's going to be the main striker, the main man. And then they played a couple of more challenging teams, some better teams, and they started to make him do this tactical stuff of playing more on the right-hand side, right wing, and things like this. And that was it. It's like he's lost a player now. And that's it. Aubameyang's confidence gone. He's not the player that he was. But, who do you blame? Do you blame the manager or the player? At the end of the day, you can see the argument from both sides. That
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You can see from both
they're both successful in what they do, and they believe in that. I mean, Aubameyang, if he didn't believe in himself, he wouldn't have been as successful as he is. Same with Sterling. So they will have that apprehension to a manager coming in, asking them to do things totally different from what they've been asked to do before. So it's that standard thing you get with all new managers. He has to win the trust of the players, and he hasn't done it yet.
I think a lot of Chelsea fans coming out and they're saying, obviously, he's out of depth. He should be out. They already kind of lost patience, etc. So, I mean, does he need to be
singing for Tuchel?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. So, I mean, it's isn't it a bit disrespectful? You're not giving this guy time. He's had so many signings, but they've all been injured as well, so he hasn't helped his cause because most of his main players are out. So you have to look at that side as well. It's not like he's just dealing with.
But I just think it's the fact that they seem like they don't know what they're doing. Even when they were winning, it wasn't convincing. It didn't have flair. It was workmanlike. It was, maybe an even game, but they had the finishing touch. They got the goal. Talking about when he started off at, what was it, 4 wins or something?
Yeah, he had 5 wins.
only games that they looked convincing in was actually the Champions League games. But other than that, in the league, they won, but without playing well. So I would definitely say, I think it's not disrespect. It's just they're not used to seeing a team that clueless. I mean, maybe since Avram Grant was the manager of Chelsea.
Wow.
I don't think they've been in that position, because they've always had managers who kind of play with flair, play with.
But I'm saying this is obviously they're going a new direction. So don't Chelsea fans need to be a bit patient, considering like I've mentioned, they've signed so many players, they've got so many injuries. For all that to embed in and for his tactical style and his ideas to be implemented within the team, it requires time. It can't happen overnight. I know Chelsea have this different model, but you're under a new ownership. You're doing things differently. All's going to take time. And you can pretty much say this season is done for them.
And they're still in the Champions League.
Yeah, Yeah.
And they've looked the most comfortable, and Potter's style probably suits the Champions League more than anything. So I would, the season isn't done. They can do well in the Champions League.
I meant in terms of the Premier League, obviously.
Yeah, but I would say, I think, yeah. The short answer is the fans should be more patient. He is a good manager. He will come good eventually when he has the trust of the players, and he ends up with players that are maybe the way they're going, which is younger, promising, and he can develop them and build them to the way he likes. The only issue I have is also on the manager to excite the fans, to give them hope, to motivate them, to explain things. And his demeanor is very much like Southgate. He'll articulate a good answer.
Did you
but,
see the press conference? He goes, I'm very good at hiding when I'm angry. I'm like, what are you talking about?
He's very blasé.
Like,
his answers are very blasé, very common sense, very general, very downplaying. Then you also have a job to excite. Yeah,
it's a complete contrast to Tuchel, isn't it? Who are very up there, fiery, good with the media, and is.
So I think that's what it is. Is he also does have a job to do to sell the vision and buys time for himself as well. If you look like you don't know what you're doing completely, then you talk in the way, like, let's be honest, sometimes it sounds like you're listening to Roy Hodgson. Do you get it? He's afraid to take any responsibility, any pressure, and say anything.
To Roy Hodgson, what's next, Adil?
Yeah, well, they're all in the same category, aren't they? So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, he's not. He's probably, at the end of the day, it's a change, isn't it? It's a change for Chelsea. They're now going down a mode of developing rather than always going for elite, always expecting elite.
Well,
the fans are happy with that, but
you're taking me to that question because it brings me up, because you're saying obviously they're going younger, but it seems like Todd Boehly is calling a lot of the shots, because obviously after the loss, there's reports coming in that they're going in for Felix now. They're willing to pay the 11 million euros of a dry loan fee for 6 months, and then take up all of his wages as well. So he's a temperamental guy. He's a similar player to what they potentially already have. And it doesn't look like another Graham Potter signing, because this is someone who did, again, a big ego.
Yeah, I don't think I don't know, like Boehly is obviously did the negotiation, but I don't know. I don't think any of these are even Boehly signing. I don't think they're Graham Potter signing. They're the back pages of the newspaper signings. Whoever and any of the top 5 or 6 clubs are going for, they're just going to go in at the last second and pay whatever. So yeah, there is no strategy to what they're doing. They're going for every type of player from anywhere, and they're willing to pay whatever fee. They went for Andre Santos once Newcastle had agreed pretty much everything. They've tried muscling in on the Modric deal. Once Arsenal were, they've done it with João Felix, where United and Arsenal were talking about him. Todd Boehly doesn't know any of these things. He doesn't know what he's doing. So what he's doing is he's looking at the gossip column, or speaking to agents, finding out who is Arsenal going for, who is Man City, who is Tottenham going for, and then saying to those agents, tell the club, I'll give them exactly what they want, whatever the price is.
Essentially, that's what they've done, because obviously Atletico Madrid came out and said that's how much they want. They want 11 million, and they want all of this.
So they say until it actually gets to the nitty gritty, like they did with Enzo.
Yeah.
They were like, they played the 120 million euros. When it came down to it, after agreeing personal terms, now they're trying to structure a deal. So they may do the same thing with João Felix.
But does it fit what they're trying to do, or that would it fit Graham Potter's system? Does he take them?
Well, it's not about system. all they're trying to do is buy talented players and say to the manager, "Here you go. I've given you all these talented players." I mean, you can't tell me um, Enzo Fernandez, Mudryk, all these players are the same type of players. They're all
No.
totally different players.
Yeah.
And they're just going for whoever, one thing for another. So what type of player are they going for? Are they going for 10? Or are they going for a left winger? Are they going for central midfielder or whoever else they're trying to? I mean, yeah. Next, I won't be surprised to hear if you find that they've been putting a bid for Weghorst.
They might need him considering the fact, obviously, João Felix likes playing as a second striker, so Weghorst would be a perfect foil for that. So, I mean, don't let Boehly hear this conversation because this might happen.
Nah, I think the main common denominator is they're all world class talented players that they're going for, or potentially, not journeymen.
But even if you look past that, I mean, would he improve that team? Would he improve that strike force? Because obviously they're struggling to score goals. Chelsea, that's one of the major issues. Because to me, he seems like a similar player to what they have in terms of mounts.
I think João Felix definitely suits Graham Potter and the style. I mean, you look at what he did with Brighton. He had a lot of tens on the pitch.
Yeah.
That's how he played, and because he's got that European style of coaching. João Felix will fit in better than the Mounts and these Premier League stars who maybe aren't used to the level of detail that Potter wants to work with. And we all know how intelligent João Felix is. He's a very intelligent player.
Yeah,
one of the smartest players you can get. I can see he would really suit the way Potter sees the game and plays the game, and the way he wants to construct his attacks. So I do think that could help Potter a lot. That one signing, but it definitely makes more sense than the Mudryks and all the others that they've been trying to muscle in on.
Quick one before we move on. Potter should be given time, yeah, to you?
Yeah, I mean, he's not a terrible manager overnight, but he is struggling to win over the players. And I think his man management skills are good enough to keep the pressure off enough. A bit like Arteta, where no matter how much the pressure came from the fans, it didn't come from the players enough or the board, because he was very good at articulating the vision to them, at least, maybe not to the fans.